Devlog 2, making a goblin with an AK. So step 1, finding gross clothes on Vinted, but also for really cheap. There's loads of them, and a few days later, here they are. The top arrived nice and clean, the trackies smelled faintly of sick. The chain I won in a knife fight, but let's not talk about that. With costume and mask on, I recorded a ton of animations. I was hopeful that with this guy, because all the colours were really bright, that editing them out in Photoshop later would be super easy. This is foreshadowing, it was fucked. Getting all the frames into Photoshop actually took ages. I made way more animations than I have with previous enemies because I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted this guy to behave, and I didn't want to have to go back and reshoot stuff later. All in, I ended up with about 120 frames, nicely laid out and ready to be cut out from the background. And this is kind of where the misery started. It turns out the clothes were so neon that they glowed onto the wall behind me, so that auto edge detection in Photoshop just wouldn't work. I tried cranking the saturation super high, I tried just making the image black and white and fiddling with the levels, but ultimately nothing worked, and I was reduced to going around every individual frame, painstakingly cutting it out. All in, that took a whole evening, but it was worth it. I got a pretty clean edge in the end, and then went on to polishing some bits like removing the mag from my hand after I tossed it in the reload animation. With all that done, I exported everything into ClickTeam Fusion. The animation editor in there is really quick and easy to import to, and makes it quick to check how things are looking. There are probably better tools, but I already own this and it works, so whatever. I noticed some weird scaling on the movement animation, so I went back and I just fixed that one frame. I lied, I fixed tons of extra frames. Anyway, final stretch now though. Getting muzzle flashes into the attack frames was literally the final step from Photoshop, and with that bit of the character was done. Not gonna lie, I was really glad to get this bit behind me. Then the whole image from this gets exported to a PNG and then imported into ClickTeam Fusion as individual frames, which is really helpful because it can also export those individually numbered frames, which is what Easy FPS Engine wants them as. The pause in the video here is because I realised at this moment as I was exporting them that the character had over 100 frames of animation, and the quick renaming tool that I had written for myself could only handle 99 frames, so I was fucked. I didn't want to fix the tool, so I just used it to rename frames 0 to 99, and I manually renamed the other ones with bigger numbers. I don't want to fix the rename at all, so I guess nothing is going to have more than 100 frames from now on. This enemy was ultimately a lesson that while it might seem quicker to film and make every animation you could possibly want and then figure it out later, you ultimately end up doing a lot of wasted work. I made duck animations for this guy, animations where he was running and walking, animations where he could shoot from the floor while he was downed, and ultimately he works best in gameplay as a dude that doesn't really move. He just hangs back and shoots you from a distance while other enemies push you. I'm happy with the result in game, and maybe I'll make some other versions of him that have different moves in the future, so I didn't waste all those other animations. But yeah, make what you need. Don't make everything you might need. It's wasted work. But it also burned my enthusiasm for this little dude too, which is sad, because he's cool. Look at him.